Good night slash afternoon, you guys. I had to come on and actually give you guys a review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, season 5, episode 14. We're to the point where it's titled Wine and Dine, and it's actually just like it says. They're whining and they're dining. Apparently, Martell has decided that he's going to venture out into the wine world and he's going to actually, develop a wine and actually launch it. He not only launches it, he decides that he's going to do it into Atlanta. His reason for doing Atlanta, he said, is because he wanted to basically make it a business venture slash guys trip. All the guys were in attendance. Most importantly, he was to the point where he actually bombarded the guys, or as I say, surprised the guys. They were thinking it was just going to be them at the actual wine tasting, when it actually was a private wine tasting. It was young ladies that were actually in attendance. And mind you, they are gorgeous women. Maurice was to the point where he basically presented his very self very well at this actual wine tasting. I was very proud of him. He was hinting at the fact that he was going to do the wine thing, and I thought maybe he's just saying that, but he's really looks like he's very excited, and also he's very dedicated to it. Now the women in there was a curveball. I didn't know that he was actually gonna have the women in there, but actually after he got done with the presentation and they actually got a chance to talk or whatever and pitch their ideas, it was actually a very great gesture because he was to the point where he was able to get a perspective of the women. Also, it was to the point where Tisha also brought it up when her and Kimmy met up about why she didn't understand why Martell did not invite the women. Now I understand. It wasn't that he really wanted to keep them out of it. I think it's one of those things where he wanted to make it a guy's trip, and he basically wanted to get the women's perspective. Now, most of the women said they did like the wine. Now, one particular young lady made a suggestion that he make not only the red one but a pink one. Martell said he is open to doing that, and the reason why he says he's open to doing that is because he's trying to not necessarily market it straight for women, but he said he doesn't have a problem doing that. I thought it was a great gesture because there are a lot of wines out there that are that particular color. I'm not sure what kind of flavor he's gonna put with it, but I know for sure he said he's gonna market the red wine. Now everybody was to the point they actually liked the red wine. Nobody had anything bad or negative to say about it. Also, his actual manager was to the point where she went around the table and asked the women to actually pitch their sales idea, which I thought was pretty cute. And most importantly, it gave everybody a glimpse into what each other was thinking. And most importantly, it gave Martell some sales pitch ideas. Not saying that's what he needed, but I thought it was kind of cute. I personally like Maurice's actual pitch. He basically said, in other words, that it's a red wine, and most importantly, it is a fine wine, and most importantly, it's right on time. I thought that was so cute, and most importantly, you got to understand that Marceau is very marketable. In other words, the reason why I say this, but he has a wine out as well. He and Tisha do have a wine out, so I thought that was a real good, great gesture that he was able to, be positive and give Martell actual great, you know, business advice, and most importantly, a sales pitch. Not saying he needed it. All the guys were to the point they did enjoy the wine. Eventually, after the wine tasting, they went out for drinks, and they went out for drinks at the strip club. Tisha was to the point where she actually was telling Kimmy that she knew exactly what they were going to do when they got there, and that was go to the strip club. My thing is, Tisha basically, in my mind, I felt like she was in her feelings, because at the end of the day, if it's a guy's trip, it's just that it's a guy's trip. There's no need for the men to attend. I think it's one of those things where she's very insecure, and the fact that people are telling her that allegedly that her husband, has been spotted or is with certain women, is making her kind of, wonder, because you could tell the way she was speaking to Kimmy that she wasn't real sure what she was saying. She basically was telling Kimmy that, people are saying that her husband is actually cheating, but she says as long as she don't see it or it doesn't drop in her lap, that she's not going to entertain it, because there are a lot of haters out there. Now, I understand where she's coming from, but in the day, you could tell Tisha don't even buy, is not even buying what she's saying herself. And the reason why I say is this: you could tell when she speaks, she's not very sure what she's saying. She kind of saying it to Kimmy like she wants validation. Kimmy's to the point where she wants to be neutral because at the end of the day, she is married to Marceau's brother. Now, my thing of it is, I'm not gonna say whether or not the man is, cheating or whatever. That's not the issue. The point is, Tisha is to the point where she's one of these people that whatever Marceau says, she believes it. You can go outside; it's clearly raining. If Marceau said no, it's not raining, she's gonna agree to it. It's one of those things where why you wanna listen to what people are saying when you know you're going to agree with him anyway. Because they had a conversation about 2 episodes ago. I'll never forget. They were actually in the car. So she tells him to come outside. And I'm saying to myself, this is the moment she's finally going to put him in his place. So she basically asked him, are the rumors true about him actually having a woman in the hotel room? Marceau has the audacity to say no, he does not have a woman in the room. And she was looking at him like she didn't believe what he was saying herself. And I'm saying to myself, if you're not going, in other words, you already know you're going to believe what the man say. What's the point of getting people hyped to think that you're actually going to not only blast him, but you're going to put him in his place? It looks like, Marceau's to the point he knows that whatever he tells his wife, she's going to believe it. And it is what it is. Now, you can tell when her mom told her that she thinks that, what they're saying could be partially true. Marceau basically wants to paint the mom as a villain. And now, true enough, Miss Wanda has her ways, and she's this, you that. I think she basically at this point was very concerned for her daughter because she kept asking Marceau, you need to answer this question. He was very indirect with his questions, and most importantly, every time she asked him a question, he would basically ask her a question back. So basically, in my mind, that means he's not only evading the question, but he's basically trying to play mind games. Now, back to the actual scenario. It was a great setup with them being in Atlanta. I think the vibes were really good. They were to the point where everybody was actually, mingling. Also, Martell the next day decides to take the men to an actual place where they actually get their frustration out. It's called Escape, and it's basically a place where you go in. They allow you to, get like random things like TVs, VCR stuff like that. You get like your weapon of choice, and like a bat or whatever you get, and you basically take your frustrations out on it. And I really think that was a great touch because at the end of the day, you could tell that Tiffany's husband, Scott, was actually frustrated. He even said it. He said he was sexually frustrated. Marceau basically said he was frustrated because of his mother-in-law Wanda. Uh, Maurice said he's not frustrated, but he's going to actually take it out on the actual stuff because he kind of feels Scott's frustration. Martell did not partake in that. He basically sat back and let the men do what they do. My thing of it is, Martell actually went to the strip club. He was in his element, and the reason why I say that, he decided he was going to go over there and have a private dance for one of the actual strippers. Now, the actual stripper that he actually was talking to, you could tell what he was saying because it was up on the subtitle. He basically asked her, could he have her tonight? She basically says she don't think that he can actually, her words, handle her. Now, I thought it was I don't think it was a bad, thing for him to ask her because at the end of the day, they are at a strip club. But people have to understand that basically Maurice is, I'm sorry, not Maurice, Martell is single. But I thought it was a bad touch for him to basically bring the married men in there. Now, all the married men, they kind of made it like a running joke. They said everybody's going to actually have their rings on. And you could tell that, everybody was in there to have a great time, but they were not there to disrespect their wives, which I thought was a good thing. Now, back to Atlanta, we have a scene where we actually have Tiffany and Melody. Basically, they're meet at a boutique, and Tiffany tells Melody that she's very happy that she actually went with her to actually try to go on a quest to find her dad. They did that last episode, and basically, Tiffany's to the point she was a product of not only, in other words, her mom and dad were in an interracial relationship, but she was also adopted. So she got her adopted parents' permission, and she went on a mission and decided that she was actually going to, try to find her birth dad, which I thought was very brave of her, and most importantly, it was a great gesture for Mel to actually be attendance because at first the husband was asked to go, but he kind of felt some type of way when she decided that she was going to make it basically like a little girls trip, and she was going to take Melody. So Melody was a good help, so she decided she was going to, her and Melody were going to do some retail therapy. So I thought that was a real, real cute scene. She's to the point where she basically vents to Melanie and tells her that yes, she and her husband are having like a little sexual frustration, but not to the point where they're not having sex at all. But I'm saying to myself, that's not what your husband's saying now. What he said when they was at Escape, the place I told you where they actually were taking the equipment and basically able to, take the bat or whatever weapon of choice and basically take their frustrations out. He basically said he was sexually frustrated, and he said it's because they're trying to venture into a new business outside the fact they have careers, and most importantly, their schedules conflict a lot. So that lets me know that he probably doesn't, to the point he's not saying him and his wife don't have sex, but he's probably sexually frustrated, which I kind of understand. And not to mention, she keeps hinting that she wants to have a baby. Now the husband already told her, he's not saying he don't want a baby, but he's saying if you ain't got time for me, how you think you gonna have time for me if we could have a child? Which makes sense. But as far as Kimmy and actually Tisha's concerned, you could tell that Kimmy was real, cool as a cucumber, because Tisha made the statement. She was like, "You look really cute with your glasses." She was like, "Yeah, I started wearing shades." And she was like, "Yeah, like you wear shades because your husband wears them." She was like, "Yeah, most of them that I wear, he's bought them or whatever." And she said, "I think that's probably what he's doing now." And that's when they ran the scene and they were actually at the strip club. I thought that was hilarious. But I know these women are to the point they're not stupid. They know exactly why their men went to Atlanta. True enough, they went because Martell invited them to actually go to a winery, but they know in themselves that the men went to the strip club. Tisha basically makes it to the point where she wants everybody to know that's why they went. You feel me? Now Tisha to the point where she's very insecure, and she basically tried to put her insecurities off on Kimmy. But the difference between her and Kimmy's relationship is that Kimmy is not to the point she has to question her husband. Not saying he wouldn't step out. I'm not gonna say that because a man gonna do what a man's gonna do. But every time Marceau shows her who he is, she don't believe him. You can tell when she talking to Kimmy, she want Kimmy to basically tell her, what she's saying makes sense and kind of amen it. But Kimmy wants to say something, but I think out of respect for the fact that she married to Tisha's, brothers. In other words, Tisha's husband, brother, she don't want to get in that. She'll amen it, but she don't really get no feedback or nothing like that, because in the back of her mind, she probably saying, yeah, he probably is cheating. But I'm not gonna be the one to say that, because they already got enough people saying that your husband cheating, and pretty much the writing is on the wall, but you kind of wanna, believe what you want to believe. So it is what it is. But I'm not saying that I feel bad for Tisha, because if if you see something, and you, most importantly, you got, I don't care what you say, a woman has women intuition. You can kind of feel whether or not your man is doing something, and it's up to you whether you act on it or you don't. But it's one of those things where I'm not sure whether or not Marceau is cheating, but I think it's a pretty good chance. But he's one of those people where he's like a no face, no case type of person. If you don't see me with a woman, I ain't with no woman. But I think it was, in my mind, it's a red flag that he went all the way to another country, Africa to be exact. He didn't take his family or his wife. So he basically told her he went with somebody, but he was very nonchalant and didn't want to tell exactly who he went with. Me personally, I think he went with another woman, and he basically made it seem like it was a business trip when it actually was a rendezvous. Because at the end of the day, why would you go way to another country and not take your wife? Now I understand you might not want to take the kids, but not take your wife. And the answer that he gave her didn't make any sense. And also, she had confronted him on last episode about whether or not he was actually at the hotel room. That people said they were spotting him where he's like, no, I was not in a hotel room with a woman. And every time he kept saying that, you could look in her eyes that she didn't believe him, but she's so caught up that she wants to believe him. You feel me? Because I think Tisha is caught up in the fact that she want to be right when it comes to people. You feel that don't make sense to nobody with sense, but in her word, it makes sense. In other words, I don't want it to be to the point where people are right about my husband cheating. And I'm also to the point where if I don't see it, I'm not going to address it. I mean, that might be true. You might want to have validation and, most importantly, proof. But if you have an intuition, most time your intuition is right. You know what I'm saying? You can go by proof if that's what you want to do, because sometimes men get trifling and they start slipping and they start, in other words, being sloppy. But Marceau is seasoned in that aspect. He's not going to let it fumble. In other words, he's not going to let nobody catch him slipping and figure out what he's doing. Me personally, now I think that he does have a woman on the side. Now he might not be to the point he's so, bad, in other words, where he gonna leave children or babies out there, but it's a rumor that he's dating a woman. I actually followed the woman on Instagram, and the reason why I follow her because another blogger showed me her Instagram, tag, so I went over there to see. And I was like, okay, Miss Thing or whatever. She's a woman. She's a nice looking woman. She's educated. She is in Huntsville. Now, I'm to that type of person. In this case, I'm not gonna say that that's the woman he's being with because at the end of the day, it might not be. It could be a rumor. But Marceau is leading a double life. You can tell when she asks him questions, he always dip his head down and he'll give her that little smirk, like he's saying, I ain't finna do that to us and da this. And she basically just, be typical Tisha, and she'll basically sink in her chair and whatever he say, go. So it is what it is. And I kind of feel sorry for her because at the end of the day, she ain't got no proof. And that's really what keeps her up at night. She can say it don't, but it do. Anytime you got to keep bringing it up to somebody, it's clearly bothering you. And the fact that her mom had to bring it to her, that should let her know something. Now, this particular episode, Wanda was not on there. And Miss Wanda basically, she is partially star of the show. Miss Wanda she say how she feels. She don't care who cares, and most importantly, she gonna go hard for her daughter. Now that part I have to respect for her when it come down to she gonna go hard for her daughter because that you got to. But I don't like the fact that she interjects herself into their marriage because at the end of the day, even if you feel it's a certain type of way, you got to understand that at the end of the day, you true enough that's your daughter, but you got to let her live her life. Now, if that man is cheating on her and she to the point where she knows it or she senses it and she don't leave, there's nothing you can do about it. You can only protect her only so much. But Tisha, you can tell she clearly bothered because she tried to figure out what Martell doing in Atlanta. Because she had to, like I told you guys earlier, she had nerve to say, why didn't Martell invite the women? And I was saying to myself, because he already had something else under his sleeve. He told you what it was. It was a guy's trip. True enough, he was launching the release of his wine, but it ain't not to say he can't have it over in Atlanta as well. I mean, Huntsville as well, because that's pretty much where he gonna target it as far as doing everything like his business venture, because that's where he actually resides, and that's where him and his manager reside. But I think it was pretty much just a reason to go to Atlanta and also, to market his wine, because that's what you got to do when you got a new product. You got to market it. And I thought that was a great gesture when he had the women. But it's the fact that the married men that were with him, they didn't know. But everybody kept it cute and respectable. And like I told you, everybody was basically like a glorified wine tasting. I thought it was really, really cute. All the women were dressed really, really nice, and they basically were tasting the wine and they were doing what they do. So I'm kind of pretty sure I'm waiting for the launch of the wine myself because I want to see not only what it looks like, how much it is. Now, as far as Marceau and Tisha, they do already have a wine. They also have a club in Huntsville. Because if you watch Love Marriage Huntsville, you can catch snippets of them being in the actual bar every now and then. Because Tisha pulls up, they call it the actual nightclub they got called Black, and that's actually I want to say that's the name of the wine, but don't quote me on it. But they actually have that wine actually out. They actually selling, and it's actually doing pretty well. But I'm to the point where I want to see, Melanie and her element. I want to see her to the point where she lets us in and let's see whether or not she's dating or, stuff like that. They kind of bring Melody in, but they don't really dig into her, her dating, history or whatever like that. Now, we see that she hadn't brought a man on there. That's not saying that she's not dating, because I'm kind of waiting to see for her to drop the ball and let us know, hey, I'm dating this one, that. But then again, it could be a respect thing, even though Martell did do her dirty and he actually had an outside baby on her and actually did divorce. She probably still gonna respect him, considering that they are on the same show and not bring her man or whoever on there. Maybe that's what it is. But you can clearly tell that Martell is trying his best to move on, but he clearly still loves his wife, his ex-wife, but he figured out that he, as I say, he punching the air because he messed up. And it's kind of, odd that he's basically trying to pick up a date at the actual strip club, considering that he does have a side chick that he actually is currently in a relationship with. Her name is Arian. They have a baby together. He said he gonna make baby number 6. That's what he was telling the guys while he was sitting there with the lady, don't giving him a lap dance. And I said to myself, that's very distasteful for him to say that, considering that he does have 4 kids with Melody and he does have one with Arian. But this typical Martell, he's gonna do what he do. But the guys said that they were actually genuine happy for him, and they actually congratulated him and let them know that they will support the venture, and it's only up from there. And I thought that was really great of them to do that, to support him, because he was having a hard time for a minute, because he still is in the midst of trying to get his builder's license. Because eventually he said he want to go back to doing what him and his wife were doing, that was building houses. And the thing about it, when he was married to his wife Melody, he didn't really have to have a builder's license because she did. Now he actually has to have one if he's able to do what he wants to do, because you got to be licensed. So the man that he actually is partners with told him that it's very pertinent that he do it, and so he decided to get a tutor, and he's going to actually go forward with actually taking the test. Now he hadn't said anything else about it, whether he passed or not. Now, as far as Love and Marriage Huntsville is concerned, I enjoy watching it. And more important than that, I enjoy giving you guys reviews. I hope you guys are enjoying the reviews that I'm bringing you guys over here. I was going to do a review of Mama June, but a lot of people to the point where they might not watch that show. So that's why I was kind of, a little hesitant to do it. But I might come back later and do it. And you guys that actually here that in the chat, I appreciate you. The guys that actually like and comment my videos, I appreciate the support. Also, you guys that actually are new to the channel, like I told you, I do reviews every now and then. And I appreciate you guys for engaging, and most important, subscribing. I will continue to bring you guys great content over here. And most important, I will not stop doing reactions. Now, a lot of people to the point they love the reactions. That's where I get a lot of my views from. But I have to also do the reviews, because a lot of times I be needing to, in other words, switch gears, because at the end of the day, I don't want to get burnt out with doing one thing. But I appreciate the love and support over here. And, it is very much appreciated. And I'm not to the point where I want to keep you guys in a box. So when I'm to the point where I want to take this channel another direction, I will let you guys know. Also, I want to let you guys know that I will continue to give you guys content. I'm not sure whether I upload Monday, considering that it is Juneteenth. I might get to the point where I'll go ahead and upload a pre-recorded video and put it out for you guys. Now, I appreciate it if you guys will go over and watch my other videos and get my views up. Like I told you guys, I am on the road to 500 subscribers. And I appreciate you guys and those who are here. I appreciate the love, and most important, I appreciate the support. Leave me a comment and like it, and most importantly, continue to support your girl, and I'll bring you nothing but great content. I'm gonna have to slide off here, you guys. I am going out tonight. I am kid free, so I'm gonna go out and paint the town red, because I am kid free, and most important, I'm off tonight. So I want you guys to enjoy your Father's Day weekend, and most importantly, if you do celebrate Juneteenth, enjoy it as well. Be safe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.